advanced tips and tricks on how to further customize your photo project. The theme that we're going to be working on is the Abstract Year in Review photo book. You can find this by going to our website. It's under the Year in Review category of our photo books page, and it's the Abstract Year in Review photo book again. We've also dropped the link in the comment section as well, just to make it a little bit easier for you guys to follow along. So I am going to go ahead and jump in. It looks like we've got a good number of people here already. So the first tool that we're going to be reviewing is the Photo Tools toolbar. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate over to one of the spreads here. I just love this photo book. I think it's very fun. There's a ton of stickers here. There's a ton of text options, a bunch of collage pages, just to give you maximum control of the customizations that you can do. So we're going to work out of this spread today, which is page 6 and 7 for those of you who are following along. And to access the Photo Tools toolbar, just click on a photo. So when you click on the photo, this little toolbar down here is going to be what we're reviewing. So the first photo tool that we have available is going to be the zoom out and the zoom in feature. So when we drop photos into these photo slots, sometimes we'll see that there's kind of extra space around the photo. This enables us to zoom in if we would like to get a close-up and kind of crop it a little bit closer to the square image that we have to really showcase this family. You can also zoom out as far as you'd like to get a little bit more of a background. It's really your preference. One thing to note is that if you do zoom in too far, is that you'll get this little red bubble here, and when we hover over it, it'll tell you that your photo may print poorly. So this is just a check and balance to make sure that you're not too zoomed in on your photos, and to make sure that if you do want it this zoomed in, if you had a higher res photo, that would be ideal, and if not, your best practice would be to zoom out a little bit just to make sure that your photos don't print out blurry when you get your book in the mail. So that is the zoom out and zoom in feature. We can kind of show it to you again here. Say we want to zoom in on baby a little bit. We can go ahead and zoom in on him and kind of really showcase him so we can see him nice and big. For the family here of dad and son, we want to zoom out a little bit just to kind of give it a little bit more breathing room. And yeah. The next tool is going to be the fill page tool. So say you want your photo to take up the whole page instead of just being an asymmetrical cut like we see it right now. To do that, you simply just click on the photo and then hit fill page. So as you can see now, the photo fills the entire page, and it also includes a bleed for you, which I'll review a little bit later. And then we can go ahead and just move the sticker down so it just looks like it makes a little bit more sense. And we'll go ahead and pan a little bit just to make sure that it's in the perfect position. So fill pages are a great option to really just give like one page in your book or multiple pages in your book just all about the picture, which is great. This is a beautiful family photo. I want to see it like big. I want to see it clearly. I want it to take up the whole page. And fill page, just one click and it's done. It gives you exactly what you need. So the next option is going to be rotate. So say for some reason you want your photo to be rotated. You want it on a different angle. What you can do is hit the rotate option here, this little button, and it's going to rotate your photo at a 90-degree angle. And so say you just have a photo that is like, for example, this photo. You want it to be, instead of the way it is, you want it to be rotated 90 degrees so that it just looks better. It's your preference. Every time you click on rotate, it's going to turn your photo 90 degrees. So that's going to be your rotate option. I'm just going to back out because I really like this photo and I want it to look like this. The next option that you have is going to be the flip option here. So for flipping, basically what it does is it will flip your photo on a horizontal axis. And so when we click on it and then we hit flip, it just flips it completely. And then we can take the pan tool here and pull it over just so that instead of dad being on the left before, you now see mom on the left. Just keep in mind that if you do flip a photo and you drag and drop another photo into it, it's going to remember that you flipped it. So for example here, there is the daughter on the left and mom's on the right, and then when we click and drag it, it flips it. And so it'll kind of forget sometimes. So if you're wondering why like it's the other way and like not what you see here, that might be a reason. So yeah, that's going to be the flip option that we have. The next option, or the next tool, is the edit tool, and this tool allows you to customize effects on your photos. And so I'll dive into that in a moment. We'll come back to it. Another option that you have here is going to be your swap tool. So the swap tool enables you to take one photo from a photo slot and put it in another. So for example, say we actually want this photo of the baby to be the full photo instead. Instead of scrolling through all of the photos that we have here, we can just as easily select the swap option and then click on the photo that we want to swap it with. And it'll automatically just swap your photos. So it just takes some of the work out of it. It makes it very easy. And now baby is the star of the show and our family is over here on the right hand side. So you can go ahead and just swap photos like however you'd like, and it kind of gives you the freedom to pick and choose exactly where you want all of these photos to go. Say you know that you want these 3 photos on the page, but you're just not exactly sure where you want them. The swap option is a great way to be able to kind of make that decision. So the next option that we're going to discuss is going to be the span option. So the span tool basically allows you to have your photo either go like be cut here in the gutter or spill across the gutter and go on the other side. So to enable that, you'll click on the span tool here and you'll see already that the photo, instead of being cut into the center, spills onto the other page. So say for some reason you want a photo to drag across the page all the way to fill both sides, you have that option to do it. I would just caution that if you are going to do this, as you can see here in this example, baby's face is in the gutter, and when it gets printed, his face is going to get lost in the bind. So I would either recommend upgrading your book to a lay flat so that you don't get baby's face lost in the crease, or you use this sparingly or with options that are landscape photos or photos of mountains or something like that, so that it's not somebody's face that gets lost instead. So I will go ahead and undo back out of that just for the example. And the last 2 tools here are the forward and back tool. So as we can see, we have a bunch of stuff going on this page. Say for example, we want to have this photo kind of overlap this other photo, but I want it to be behind it. And instead of moving this photo all the way up here and moving this one down so that it's like the way I want it, or swapping the photos, you can just hit the back button and it'll tuck the photo behind the other one. So you can use the forward and back options with stickers, with text, with other photos, and it'll give you the ability to kind of pick and choose where you want things to lay and how you want things to tuck in front or behind each other. So an example of that would kind of be with these 2 stickers here. Say for example, I want this orange sticker to be in front of it, I can hit forward or I can hit back. And so you really do have like full customization options here. You can either tuck it behind or you can pull it forward. Your options are kind of limitless with this. So that is all of the tools. Now we're going to dive into the edit feature here. So like I mentioned previously, the edit tool it enables you to add custom effects to your photos. So some of these options are going to include the border, a drop shadow, effects, adjustments, opacity, and shape. So adding a border enables you to add a border around your photo here. If your photo bleeds off the page, your border is also going to get cut off. So if you want your border to go all the way around your page, you need to pull your photo in completely onto your page. Then we'll go ahead and hit the width and pull up on your width to as thick or as thin as you would like it to be. So for this example, I think I'm going to go with a width of 4. If I want to change the color of my width, it's just as simple as hitting the drop down here, and then I can pick any of these colors here, any of the colors here, and I think I am going to stick with white because I think it kind of pops a little bit. And so now my options are, I can either apply it to all the photos on the page, or I can say I'm done. So the apply to all option just makes it a little bit easier if instead of having to click on every single individual photo and applying it to the same width and then remembering like what color it was, you can just hit apply to all and then say yes please, and then you'll see that there's a photo border here, or there's a border here around this photo, and if we pull it all the way in, you'll see the border go all the way around. It even applied it to this full photo here. So say for example, if we pull this photo in, you'll see that there's a full border all the way around it too. And it's all consistent, it's all the same. And if you change your mind, you can also then go back under edit, hit border, and you can change it. Say if you want this one to not have a border or you want it to have a different color, you can do that too. You can go in and make custom adjustments for every single photo then if you want them to all be different colors too. So the next one under our edit tool is going to be our drop shadow. So drop shadows enable your photos to give a sense of a pop. So we have 5 options here for you. You can have no drop shadow, a little bit of a drop shadow, a medium amount of it, some of it going more in a downward direction, and then one that's more of a diffused glow. So we can kind of pick and choose. I think for this one, I kind of like the downward motion. We can also change the color of it as well. If we have it be the same color, it's kind of a little bit like more subtle. If we pick something like white, it'll look like it's glowing. And instead of being a shadow, it's kind of like almost like neon lights as an option. So again, you really have all the options in the world here with your shadows. You can also apply to all if you want the same effect on all of your photos, or you can reset it and it'll set it back to none. So the next one that we're going to talk about is effects. So your photo effects are going to enable you to change the way that your photo looks. If we hit effects, there are some preset effects here. You have your no effect, you have your black and white effect, you have the sepia effect. You can lighten your photo a little bit. So if we go from no effect to lighten, you can see it just kind of makes everything a lot brighter. You can also do the opposite and make things darker. So if your photo is a little overexposed and you want to darken it a little bit, you can do that too. You can also kind of do this 80s vibe, which is very like purple and yellow, or you can do a yellowy vibe, which is kind of more intense on the yellow side. And again, you can apply to all, you can hit reset to bring it back to how it was when you dropped it in, and yeah, then we can hit done. So say that you aren't 100% happy with the effects that we have and you want a little bit more control, you're going to find some of that under the adjust tool here. So if we open the adjust tool, you can adjust the brightness, saturation, and contrast of any of your photos that you drop into the editor. So if we bring the brightness tool towards the right, it's going to increase the brightness. And if we bring it towards the left, it's going to decrease the brightness. And the same goes for saturation and contrast. If we take the saturation up, you can kind of see the blue starts to really pop, the skin tone starts to get very saturated, and everything else just gets very saturated. But if we pull it down towards the left, you'll see that things tend to start to look a little grayed out, and then if we hit all the way to -100, it's a black and white photo. So we can also do this with contrast. If you want to increase or decrease the contrast, you have the ability to do that as well. And again, you can reset everything back to 0. You can apply to all. So for example, say we want everything to be 63 more bright and hit apply to all. It's going to give you a pop-up to ask if you're sure, and then you hit yes. And so now all of our photos are just a little bit brighter. And then we'll hit done. So the next one is going to be the opacity. So the opacity controls how see-through your photo is. So for example, if you want your photo to be kind of like a watermark or an overlay, you can take the opacity down and make it very transparent. Or you can kind of have it a little bit in between. Say you maybe want some of the shape to come through, or you want to layer it over the other one, but you want it to be a little bit more faded. It's really up to you. You can play with the opacity here as well. And the last one is going to be our shape. So the shape function here, I'm going to do it on this bigger one here just to make it easier for you guys to see. If we go to edit, hit shape, we have some pre-shaped photo slot options for you. So the default is going to be the rectangle. And so that's kind of what you see here. The next option is going to be a circle. So say you want a circle photo slot instead, like this is how you do it. Your other options are going to include triangle, a star, or a heart. And for all of these shapes, you can play with the horizontal and vertical aspects of it. So you can make it a skinny heart, you can make it a short, fat heart. It's really kind of whatever you prefer. And you also have, again, the opportunity to apply it to all. Say you want all of the photos on this spread to be a circle, you'll hit apply to all, say yes please, and then all of your photos will become the circle version of what they are. And if you want them to be a little bit more of a perfect circle, you can go ahead and kind of pull them in and change the scale if you'd like to. So your options are endless. And say you maybe changed your mind on it. You can go back to edit, you can hit shape, you can hit reset, and it'll take you back to what your original photo shape was. So I'm going to go ahead and reset and apply to all, just so everything is back to being its rectangle shape. And that concludes all of the tools that we have in our edit tools section. And that's all of the tools that you have available in your photo tools toolbar. So I know it's a lot. We ran through all of it. But yeah, that's basically all of the different customization things that you can do with your photos. So now we're going to go to our next tip and trick, and that is going to be how to add additional stickers and backgrounds into your project. And this is also going to include how to upload your stickers and your own stickers and backgrounds. So say you found some stickers that you really liked, or if you're an artist and you want to add your own stickers into this and personalize it fully, I'm going to show you how to do that. So with Mixbook's editor, you're able to customize your stickers and backgrounds in a number of different ways. So we do already build and offer a wide library of backgrounds and stickers to import from, or you can also import your own. So first, I'm going to show you how to import stickers that we have in our library. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go over here to the left-hand side under the sticker icon. You'll select it, and it's going to open this section here. So the first thing that we can do is we can find stickers through search. So since this book is kind of abstract and that's kind of the main vibe that we get from it, I'm just going to search the word abstract, if I can spell properly. So then we'll go ahead and hit the magnifying glass to give us the search, and these are all of our abstract options. There's about 5 pages of options that you have here that we can kind of click through, and you can see some of the stickers that we have are also here as well. So I think the one that I'm going to include is going to be this yellow sticker. So to add it, it's just as simple as dragging and dropping it onto your workspace. And now the sticker is on my page. That's it. It was just as simple as that. And I kind of want it to be right here. I think I like it just nestled right there in the corner. So that's one way that you can add in a sticker from search. Another way that you can do it is by browsing our library. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and X out of this, and we'll hit the Add Sticker button right here. This is going to give you a pop-up, and in this pop-up you can browse all of the stickers that we have in a number of different ways. You can browse by theme, you can browse by type, you can browse by category, and also by style. So when I started this book, I was thinking of another theme that I might want to. I was kind of torn between the two, and it was the Painterly Year in Review theme. And so I have the ability to take some of those stickers and backgrounds from that theme and put them in my project that I chose. So I am going to add this little these paint swatches here. I think they're super fun. I love the colors. And to select it, I'll just click on it and then hit Add Selected. And as you saw kind of here in the grayed out area, that sticker is now available here. And this check mark tells me that it's already in my project. So if I click the X here to close out of the pop-up, I now see that my sticker is available for me right here. And so to add it onto the screen, I'm going to go ahead and click and drag and drop it onto the screen. And that's how you add it through Browse. Yeah, let's put it there. So lastly, you can also add in your stickers that you've created on your own. So I would recommend downloading or putting all of your stickers into one folder so that you have them ready to go. And we'll go over here to this add sticker, which is going to give you this pop-up. But instead of the browse sticker function that we see here, we're going to go to the upload sticker section instead. And this is going to give us this button that says upload stickers. So when we click on this, it'll give us another pop-up where we can go ahead and add stickers in from our desktop. So I'm just going to add these 2 stickers here and then hit open. And they're going to start uploading here in the corner. And as they become available, you'll start to see them populate under the column that says uploaded stickers. So I uploaded this summer sticker that I created, and there's this little red paint swash that I also made, and so I am going to add it and drag and drop it, and it's as simple as that. And so then now I have all of my stickers found in 3 different ways, some that I made, some that I found from other themes that we offer at Mixbook, and some that I found through our library. So now let's do this with backgrounds. So we'll go ahead and navigate to the backgrounds icon here on the left-hand side, and we'll click on that and open it up. So as we can see here, we can do this again in the same way. We can use the same search term, which is going to be abstract, and that is going to show us all of the abstract backgrounds that we have. And so we have 41 options to choose from. And I see some of the ones that are kind of match the Painterly Year in Review option here too. And so I think I am going to choose this one. I think it's super colorful. It's really fun. And that's it. That's how you add it from search. So say, for example, I want to, again, I'm still thinking about that Painterly Year in Review, and maybe I couldn't find it in search. We can do it by browsing. So let's click on Add Background here. We'll go ahead and navigate to Browse Backgrounds, and you can browse by style, you can browse by type, and you can also browse by theme. So let's go ahead and click on by theme, and we'll see that all of the theme books that we offer here are available, and here is my Painterly Year in Review option. So these are all of the backgrounds that are available from that theme that maybe I'm missing out on or I want. So I am gonna add, let's see, which one are we feeling? We'll go ahead and add a bold brush stroke. We'll do this one. So it's just as simple as clicking on it to select it and then hitting Add Selected. So now when I close out of it and I exit out of this search here, I'll see that the background that I chose is now present in my uploaded background section. And if I'm going to do it on this page so we can see it. If I then click on the background, it's going to go ahead and drop the background onto this page. So now I can't really see this sticker too well, so I'm just going to move it over here into this gray sticker. This gray blob is hanging out, and have that there. So that is going to be how you can browse backgrounds and add them in, and search for them and add them in. And now I'm going to show you how you can upload your own backgrounds that you have created, or you found them online, or somebody sent them to you. So we can do this by going to Add Background, go to the Upload Background section. It's going to give us that Upload Background feature. We'll click on this button, and the pop-up is going to navigate to our desktop. And these first 2 options here are the backgrounds that I have that I want to add in. So we'll select them and hit Open, and I'll go ahead and upload them and kind of show you their progress, and then they're made available as they become ready. And so once they upload, you can kind of see that they are populated here in your uploaded background section, and then you can just click on them and it'll go ahead and populate whichever ones that you chose. So I think I am going to stick with this one maybe. And that is how you add in your own stickers and backgrounds, how to search for your own, or for stickers and backgrounds from our library, and then search them with terms as well. So now we're going to go ahead and move into our color picker tool. So this is a really fun tool if you, like me, love color palettes. So I like to choose my own colors. I like to customize everything. I'm very hands-on with this kind of stuff. So you can find your color picker tool in a number of different places. So one of the things that you can also do with your backgrounds is you can select a solid color. And so to make a solid color background, so right now we have this beige background with like little white dots on it. Say I want it to be a solid color instead. I can easily do that by clicking on the color square that is right next to the section where it says solid color, and this is going to open my color picker. And so as you can see, I have all of these standard colors. I have all the recent colors from different projects that I've worked on. I have this little hex code area, I have a color wheel, and I have an eyedropper tool. So the first thing that we can do to select a solid color is just as easily we can just click anything from recent colors. So for example, say I just want it to be gray. I'll click on the color and it automatically makes my background a solid gray color. Now say I have a specific color in mind. Maybe I want the gray from this hammock to be the color, or the gray from this like cement walkway. Like this gray just isn't feeling right. We can do this by using the eyedropper tool. So we'll open up this panel again, we'll click on the eyedropper tool button right here, and we'll know that it's activated when we start to hover over all of the different colors on our page, that it's gonna populate this little hex code. So say we go ahead and that's the color I want. It's like perfect. I think that's the exact color that I was looking for, and all I had to do was use my eyedropper tool. You can also use this eyedropper tool if you're looking to kind of mimic the colors that you have in some of these other stickers. So for example, I can use my eyedropper tool to select this dark green color, and then say I want to add this dark red color, and what starts to happen, as you can see, is all of those colors that I'm choosing are starting to populate in my recent colors panel. So what I like to do when I get started is I like to kind of pick what colors I want, and then I'll use my eyedropper tool and I'll click on all the different colors and add them all to my recent colors, so that when I'm adding a border or I'm adding a drop shadow, I already have my colors selected and ready to go. And I tend to kind of just use those 5 or 6 colors throughout my whole book just to kind of make it feel a little bit more cohesive. So for this background, I think I'm just gonna settle on that gray color from the photo that I picked. You can also pick in a different way. So say maybe you have a color in mind that you don't see on the spread. You can find this color by accessing the color wheel. So when we click on this little rainbow wheel here, it's going to open up a color picker option. So you can pick any color that you want by dragging this little dot anywhere across here. You can pick darker colors, more saturated colors, more grayed out colors, or something in between. And you can also pick it up and down the rainbow, so you can choose any color that your mind can possibly come up with. And so I think maybe we'll go for let's do more of like a purple tone, just to complement this dark purple black blob down here. And then I'm going to hit the check mark so that it adds into my recent colors. And then if we go back here, you'll see that my purple color is now listed here as well. Another way that you can add colors in is by using hex codes. So hex codes are 6-digit alphanumerical combinations that are used pretty universally in the design world. If you've ever browsed Pinterest or the internet looking at color palettes, sometimes you'll see these little random jumble of letters and numbers mixed up with a hex code in front of it. And this basically tells any computer or anything like, hey, this is the exact color. So for example, if I were to just pick a random color here, we can see that when I hit the check mark, it's this very vibrant purple. So say for some reason I really want this color, or say I went on Pinterest and I found 5 colors and they're hex codes, you can just type in those hex codes and it'll give you the exact colors that you want. So you really have a ton of options here. And places that you can use your color picker tool is going to include solid color backgrounds, it'll include text boxes, it'll include border colors. So say we want this same purple color that's on a background here on the border here, we would go to edit, we would go to border, we would hit the drop down, and then you see that purple color is just sitting there waiting for you. And you can also use it for drop shadows as well. It's the same step. Edit, shadow, and the color is available for you here as well. So that basically covers all of the different options that you have available in your color picker tool. The next tip and trick that we're going to talk about is going to be photo placement best practices. So this one is kind of more centered around placement of photos and alignments and how to kind of make everything all perfect so that when your book shows up, it just looks fabulous. The first thing is going to be when you're placing photos on the edge of your outside pages, you want to make sure that you pull your photo out to the bleed area. And what that does is it basically ensures that there's no gap in between your photo and the edge of the page. Nothing is more frustrating than spending all this time and energy creating these books to finally get your book in the mail and see that there's a thin white line in between where your photo meets the side of the page. So to prevent that, what you can do is select your photo. So I'm going to actually take the border off of this just to kind of show you. So we'll take that down to 0 and hit done. We'll click on our photo here. We'll select the side so that we can pull it in or out, and we're going to pull it all the way out. And do you see this dotted yellow line here? This tells you that you've hit the bleed, which is exactly where it needs to be. And you're going to see this dotted yellow line on all of the outside corners of your spread. And this basically ensures that when your photo gets printed or when your book gets printed, that you're not going to have it looking just kind of maybe right there and look like that, because that can be kind of frustrating, especially if you're a perfectionist like I am. It's a little frustrating. So we've come up with a way to prevent that, and that is by creating these dotted yellow lines that communicate to you, hey, you've pulled it out, it's great, it's perfect, you've got the bleed, you're good to go. So another option is going to be alignment. So this is if you want like 2 of your photos perfectly lined up. Say for example, I want this photo and this photo to be perfectly lined up right here. Instead of sitting here and like nudging it and like trying to like figure it out, I can just as easily take the side of the photo here and pull it out, and see the solid yellow line here will appear to show me, hey, your 2 photos have snapped. You can also take the other side and you can see it do the same thing on the other side as well. If we were to add another photo in, you can also do it horizontally also. So if I take this photo here and we'll kind of pull it in, say I want this photo to be perfectly aligned with this photo, I'm just going to select both of them and hit horizontal alignment. And it's going to kind of tell me like, okay, it's perfect. So say it's like here, but I'm like, I want it to be like perfectly aligned in the center. It's going to just automatically do that for you. You can also select top, and it's going to pull it all the way up to the top to make that snap as well, or you can have it snap to the bottom. You can also do this the other way. So say we get rid of this photo and say this one's maybe just slightly bigger than this one, but you want them to be horizontally aligned here too. You can do that by click and dragging them both, or clicking on one, holding down the shift button and clicking on the other. And then you can also do it horizontally as well. You can have it left aligned, center aligned, and right aligned also. So you can also do this with a bunch of other things as well. This basically will tell you like, hey, this is like centered. This also works just straight across the spread. So say for example, like my photo is, I just want to make sure it's like completely centered. I can pull it this way and it'll give me that solid yellow snap line that says, hey, it's now perfectly centered across the middle of this page. And if I pull it up, it's going to snap across horizontally and show you like perfectly aligned horizontally as well. And so now I know that when I print this book, that this photo is going to be perfectly even all the way around. So lastly, with alignments and bleeds, it's going to be keyboard nudging. So say for example, you want your photo to just be a little bit off, but like your snap guide is getting in the way and you're getting a little bit frustrated. There's another option. If you use the directional arrows on your keyboard, you can nudge your photo in any direction that you want it to go. You can also have it jump by holding shift and moving it, and you can see it kind of makes more of a drastic little shift over to the left and right. But if you don't hold the shift down and you use your arrows, it'll move just a little bit slower. So that sums up all of the photo placement best practices in regards to alignments and bleeds. And the next tip and trick that we have is going to be copying from one project to another project. So say I actually did start that other book project and it just wasn't feeling right. It wasn't like I wasn't jiving with it and it wasn't working. But I did a couple of spreads in it. And so what you can do is you can actually copy from one project into another. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to have both projects open. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate back to my projects page here on mixbook.com, and I'm going to go ahead and open this project. This is my other one. And as it loads, I can go ahead and navigate to the spread that I want to copy. And so I really like this spread. I want to copy this text, I want to copy this photo, and I want to copy these stickers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag to highlight everything. I want to make sure that I have everything selected, and then depending on what computer you have, if you have a Mac, it's Command-C, but if you have any other computer, it's Control-C. And then I'm going to navigate back to my tab that I have open that I've been working out of. And so I want to place this photo or that spread on a new spread. And so I'm going to go up to the page tools here. I'm going to add a blank page. I'm going to click on this page to make sure that this page is highlighted, and it'll tell me that it's highlighted because there's a blue line around this side of the book. And then I'll just hit Command V or Control V, depending on your computer. And that's it. Now it's all in here. My photo's added. I don't have to re-upload it. I don't have to import it again. I don't have to go looking for these stickers. They're all right there for me, and my text box copied over as well. Do keep in mind that your backgrounds do not copy right now. So it's only for text, for photos, and for stickers. So what we can do is, since it is a solid color here, is that we can navigate to our backgrounds icon. We can click on the little button here, and you can either copy this hex code and then take it back in here. We'll navigate to the backgrounds icon, click on the solid color, and then we can paste the hex code in and hit the check mark, and it'll go ahead and give us the color. And then I'll click on it here to add it here as well, and that color is already saved for me, so then it's going to be here as well. So just keep in mind that when you are copying and pasting from spread to spread, it's going to be Control-C for PCs, and it's going to be Command-C for Macs. And you want to be using your keyboard shortcuts in order to kind of copy them from spread to spread. And yeah, that's basically how you add in a spread from a different project. So the last tip and trick that I have for you today is how to move pages. And so sometimes, like maybe when you're going through your book, you have created a spread, but it doesn't feel right. Like the flow of your book doesn't really work, or you want to change it, you want to edit it. That's totally fine. We can completely do that. So to find it, at the bottom left corner here, you'll see that there's the All Pages button. And when you click on it, it's going to show you an overview of what your entire book looks like. And so as you can see here, this is what my whole book looks like. These are all my photos. This is all the customizations I've made. I can kind of see like, okay, cool, like maybe the spread that I added in, I don't want it to be on page 8 and 9. Maybe I want it to be later on in the book. So what you can do is you can just hover over the spread that you want to change and click and drag it to later on in the book, or wherever it is that you want it to go. So say I want it to be the new page 18 and 19. It's just going to slip the page out and put the spread where you want it to be. Also, what you can do is you can also move pages. So say that you want one of the pages to be on a different spread. So say, for example, I want page 8 to be the new page 3. The way that you do this is you can go up to the top right corner underneath the order button. There's a button called Move Pages. So if you click on it, it's going to turn blue to tell you that it's on, and it'll let you select a single page versus an entire spread. So now we see the highlight is only over half of a spread. So I'm going to click on page 8, and I'm going to click and drag it over to page 3. So now you can see that page 8, what was originally page 3 is now page 8, and what was page 8 is now page 3. And so this kind of gives you full control over exactly where you want your photos to be, exactly how you want your layout to look, and just kind of give you that finishing touch where, say you're on a trip and you want to document it day by day, you don't have to be restricted to using your photos in order. You can just build it out and then organize it chronologically later on. And that's it. I think that's all I have for you guys today. Those are some of our top advanced tips and tricks that we have for you. And thank you guys for joining us, and I hope that you guys learned something. I hope you guys had fun. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comment section, and we hope to see you guys again next time. Have a great night.